Hello and welcome to Youngstown Playlist, a show dedicated to highlighting local music right here in Youngstown, Ohio. One of the best things about music is the connections that can be made, whether it's through the songwriting process or through performing the final product. Today's guest talks about what those connections mean to an artist and much more. Here is Sam Goodwill.
I am unrecognizable to myself. Don't mean when I look in me. Ideas and ideals I have near evolved and all but disappeared. But you're alive right now, and I'm alive right now. Sometimes I feel like an experiment, or better, like I'm trading places, promised riches bearing no resemblance to secret truth. Like all the millions of sperm that died so that you might live. The unlikelihood of your parents having met, or their parents, etc. Que sera, sera. 'Cause you're alive right now, and I'm alive right now. So hold on to it like you never held on to anything. What you do with it doesn't really matter as long as you show. You're alive right now. You're alive right now. And I'm alive right now. You're alive right now. And I'm alive right now. You're alive right now. And I'm alive right now.
How would you describe your sound?
That is actually a really hard question.
Well, see, that's exactly why I asked it, because like I'm having trouble pinning it down.
Yeah, no, I guess to answer your question, that's like every time I have to fill that out on a form or whatever, answer it, it's just like,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's rhythmic. What we end up falling on is just like indie rock.
Yeah.
SoundCloud just suggested that some songs were dream pop.
Okay.
I don't know what it is, but
I don't. Whatever it is, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel.
yeah, I mean, sometimes it's really aggressive, and sometimes it's really soft. And I like a lot of synthesizers and rhythmic things, and yeah, rock and roll. I don't know.
Yeah, and speaking of rhythm, that is one of the things. The last album you did, I really love the percussion. Everything, it's just got. Is that from you, or is it from the drummers that you bring in?
Both. I started as a drummer, like watching my brother play when I was like 4 years old.
Okay.
So like that was my first instrument in bands growing up. So yeah, I think that I tend to gravitate towards things where the drums could be the hook of the song.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I like that sort of thing. I do happen to work with, and on that record I worked with my friend Dennis, who is great with that sort of thing too. So yeah, a little bit of both.
Yeah, because it starts off just like almost chaotic, but then the melody comes in, you're like, oh, okay. But it creates a nice sort of feeling about what that sound is, whatever it is. When you decide to sit down, write new material, what is that process like?
It's different every time. Speaking of the last album, that started with like a lot of musical ideas first. Mm-hmm. There are songs that started with drums. Like, I like this drum part, let's build something around it, that sort of thing. But when I was starting to write this new record, the songs on it, I started with an acoustic guitar, and just, I would have like 20, 30 minute, like just stream of conscious, record it, see what happens. Most of it is garbage. You know what I mean? Most of it is just, you're just finding.
Of that 30 minutes, there's probably like a 30-second
exactly
hook
if you're lucky.
Yeah.
And I mean, the first song I played, "You're Alive Right Now," was definitely one that was like that. It was just, I mean, there's so many versions of these songs. It's crazy. There are actually early versions that like I wish we had. I like forgot about parts that I liked about it, and then it just didn't make it. I guess it's a part of it. But yeah, this album was more of a start with the basic instrument melody and then build off of that.
Has there been an evolution in your songwriting that you've noticed? Like a couple years ago, your sound was this way, or you pulled from this sort of inspiration, and now you might be in a different mindset or doing something different.
I think I'm much less of a perfectionist. I'm kind of adopting the school of thought of like just letting, I don't know, like whatever happens. I guess that's it. Just kind of trust yourself. I guess trust your instincts, and don't worry about quantizing or things like that so much for me. I mean, there was a time where I was like, well, how good can we make this thing sound? Like, if this was like perfect, how good would it sound? That would be it. And now it's just like, well, what's actually happening in that tempo shift? Like, something actually kind of cool happens there, for a broad stroke example of what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I think it's come up a couple times talking to other musicians how they do find that trend where it's like, it used to be everything's got to be on the beat, and now it's kind of like, well, part of what makes playing an actual instrument so great is that there are those like little mistakes. There's those little things that makes it feel more authentic.
Yeah, and it's hard it was a hard transitional period, I could have done that better, but I'm moving on. You know what I mean? Like that's a really hard thing to do sometimes.
You do a lot of production, like music production, some video production, all just art in general. So talk about that, your experiences with that, how you got into the more production end of things as well.
Yeah. I draw from a few places, and there's a guy that he actually recently passed away, and there's this sweet foundation set up for him, Fug Yep Foundation, and it's like he was brilliant, and I feel like a poor man's version of him, because he has such a sweet sound and such a minimalistic way of achieving it. But his name was Richard Swift, and so yeah, I heard a couple of his albums that he worked on, his own and other people's, and it's just like, how do you get this, And he kind of opened up my mind to like possibilities. I never met him or anything like that, completely like just a far admirer, but Yeah, and then there's other people, like, once you get into the world of like music production, there is an entire world of people like that are badass at it, and it's like you check it out. I don't know, learn.
Do you feel more comfortable as the artist end or the producer end, or is there some fine place in the middle?
Yeah, I don't know. I like it both. I like them both. I think it's healthy that I'm doing both, honestly. Like there's like an archetype of a certain type of artist that you're just an artist, and like that's it, and like for better or for worse, no matter what, that's just what you do. And I felt like that was me, you know, like I wanted that so bad, and at a certain point it just became unhealthy, and you sort of live in that vacuum of your own art, and I don't know, I feel like for me, for my particular circumstance, it's cool to like just round it out a little bit, do some other things, and I think they both inform each other, and I think I'm like a better artist because of the other things, and better at the other things because of the art at the same time.
Oh yeah, because you're exposing yourself to so much more. You're kind of stepping out and being like, this is what else is going on, this is what people are doing.
And like working with acts that I would never have a chance to work with through like the house show recordings we do. I would never have a chance to mix the work of some of these people in any other context. And here I am in my basement messing with their stuff. It's pretty sweet.
That's awesome. Talk about collaboration and, you know, people that you've worked with, either producing for or playing with. Like I know you do a lot with Bob Young, who is just like, if he has not drummed for every act, he's on his way to doing so. So just things like that, those sort of relationships.
Bob, it's in particular, he's been playing with me since 2013, and I don't know, he's like a part of my family now. You know, it's awesome. He's around a lot, and he's a brilliant drummer, and I'm a fan.
That's good to work with someone you're a fan of.
I don't know. Collaboration is actually something I struggle with, and am envious of anyone who has mastered it. I've done the guys in a room jamming thing, and I've never really been able to pull anything out of it. It's very rare that, okay, now we have a song from that 3-hour jam session. But people do that and like write awesome music, and I don't know. But with me, it's more like I'll write a version of a song and like show the guys, and then they'll put their personality into the parts, and that seems to be the most effective way I've ever collaborated. But I am open. I think if I ever got out of the Sam Goodwill project and joined some other band as a non-frontman, I think I would like to do that. I think collaborating on that with that brain space would be, I'd be into that.
What are some of the biggest challenges just being a musician, getting the name out there, that you've experienced, that you've tried to overcome?
I honestly feel like, and this is something I've really been dealing with like recently, is the biggest challenge is yourself. I have been very dismissive of things, like I was saying earlier, just like there's this archetype of the artist that and I don't know. I just feel like you got to get out of your own way. And it's really hard, if you're really trying to get your name out there, you dive into some music business territory, and that always feels icky. And I have minimal experience with it, but it's possibly a necessary evil. But I do feel like the biggest currency for a band DIYing it and trying to go to the next level is your network, your connections. It just boils down to like having like playing something that you really believe in, your music, connecting with somebody who you believe in what they're doing, and vice versa, and like helping each other out.
Sure.
Everything I've ever done that was like a step forward or a step up, if you will, has been because of like a genuine connection with another person, you know.
That's our show. I want to thank Sam Goodwill for taking the time to talk to us and play for us. A huge shout out goes to Noble Creature Cask House for letting us record an episode there, and thank you for watching. Be sure to like and share this video, like our Facebook page, and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss another episode. See you next time. Are there any bands or acts that you have recorded that you just like didn't really know of? Like, come on by, or we'll do something together.
Yeah, there are a few. There's a guy, he goes by Benoit Pouliard, I believe. Thomas Mullich, I think is his actual name. A friend of mine booked him at our place, and we did a show and recorded it and everything. And I had never heard of him, and it was just like, wow, this is amazing. And now I'm like a huge follower of him. Same with Mount Erie. I definitely knew about him, but really the first time I heard his music full on was when he played my living room. And
that's such an interesting story. Like, well, where did you meet this guy? In my living room.